Welcome back, everyone. One of the most effective ways to learn is to teach, to present your learning to an audience, gain feedback, and then refine and improve your thinking. And in my own classroom, I always look for opportunities to have students present. And I ask others to give them feedback on their presentations with the goal of helping them improve. This is also the same way that groups such as Toastmasters help with public speaking skills, by creating a feedback loop where you present, get feedback, present, get feedback. It works very well. However, how do you practice a presentation before you have to present? Is there a way to get feedback without having an audience to provide it? And what about those situations where your audience isn't there to provide feedback, but they're there to hear your thoughts and ideas only? Now, when do we normally start to panic and worry that we haven't practiced enough? Usually at 2 a.m. the morning of the assignment due date. And that's right, I'm looking at you, every student ever, including myself. Well, the good news is there's a way to practice and get feedback at any time, 24 hours a day, without having to have an audience. Let's take a look at the coaching feature in Microsoft PowerPoint. Microsoft PowerPoint has a very cool feature built into it called Presentation Coach. And that Presentation Coach will allow you to go through, practice your presentation, and it will provide you feedback both in real time and once you've practiced your presentation. Now, I'm going to demonstrate the Presentation Coach, and I'm going to do my very best to give you a horrible presentation. I'm going to speak in a monotone. I'm going to use a lot of, filler words like right, and I'm going to do all of that with the purpose of showing you how the Presentation Coach can help me improve my presentation. And then once I've gotten feedback from the Presentation Coach, I'm then going to go in and do my very best to do a good presentation that doesn't have the filler words and has a little bit of variety in the inflection of my voice and all of those good things. So let's take a look at Microsoft PowerPoint Presentation Coach with an eye to improve all of our presentations and really hit it out of the park. Let's start by taking a PowerPoint presentation. So I've got a little short presentation on a fictitious camping trip. And what I want to do is I want to pretend that I'm presenting this, but I want to rehearse this before I present it to my audience. So what I'm going to do is if you just go up to search, you can put in the word coach, and you can see that you can rehearse with the coach timings. This will put the presentation into full screen, and then you can start rehearsing. Now you can either do the entire rehearsal and then see your feedback, or you can get feedback in real time. You can do both. I'm going to do the feedback. Well, you know what? You can watch that if you'd like, and we will have a look at doing feedback in real time. So let's start rehearsing. So now I've started rehearsing, and we'll just begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my presentation on the camping trip, which we will be doing in the summer of 2022. And so the agenda, we're going to have weekly meetings, exercise routine, hill climbing, safety preparation, weekend camp. Our trip, 7 days along the West Coast Trail in 2022. It's like the equipment. Okay, it's essentially like essential gear and essentially nothing more. So that's the way that works. And then the people coming along, it's like these are the people coming along. And then of course we're gonna get this quote. This is by Walt Disney, and he says the way to get started is to quit talking and then just begin doing. That's cool. Okay, we're gonna have a really great trip. I hope you like the presentation. Thank you. My name is Frank. Okay, as you can see, I really spent some time there keeping things really monotone, and you can see that that's reflected in the feedback here. So it tells me how long it took me to go through, how many slides I rehearsed. You see that the words that I was using as filler words were and ah. It did see that my language was good. I had inclusive language in here, and so the actual words that I put in my slide deck was good. And then I had not very much in terms of repetitive language, but you can see here that my pace over time really kind of slowed down, went up a little bit, kind of in that green zone, so that's okay. And then my pace is about 124 words a minute, which is just right. I might want to go a little faster, a little slower. We'll see that. And you can see I've got some nice feedback. Let's rehearse this again, but I'll actually put more effort into it. Not saying it's going to be perfect, but let's see if I can improve from being monotone and using some of the filler words. So now we'll go ahead and rehearse again. And you'll notice here that I've got to go back to the beginning. And then when I'm at the beginning, I'm actually not going to do the real-time feedback this time. Let's go ahead and rehearse. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our summer of 2022 camping trip plan. This is going to be an exciting trip, and I'm really excited to present this to you today. Our agenda when we're planning for this trip will be to hold weekly meetings. We're going to have an exercise routine that we follow. We're going to get fit by doing some hill climbing where we can carry our backpacks up and down hills. We're going to do a bunch of safety preparation, which is going to be important. And we're even going to do a little weekend camp before we do the big long camp. Our trip is going to be 7 days along the West Coast Trail in 2022. This is a 7-day backpacking trip where we have a very rough set of conditions that we're going to go through, up and down a bunch of ladders all along the coast, and we're going to see some beautiful scenery. In terms of equipment, what's really important is that we don't overpack. We really just want the essential gear that we need for this trip and nothing more. We have a number of people that are experts that have done this trip several times, and they're going to be going with us to guide us. We have Ms. Tree, we have Pete Za, we have Izzy here, and we have Liz Anya. And it's going to be a fantastic trip with their expertise. Walt Disney once said, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So let's go ahead and get going on our hill climbing prep to make sure that we're ready for the West Coast Trail. In summary, we're going to have a great trip. My name's Frank, and I really appreciate your letting me present to you today. Now, that's not a great presentation. I didn't spend a ton of time working with the presentation, so it's not a very well-formed presentation. You can see that I actually came a little bit off as monotone, and I didn't realize that, so I need to improve my inflection a little bit and see if I can pump that up a bit. You can see that there was a little bit of repetitive language where I was saying we're having a really good trip, a really good time. It's really exciting. So there's a key word. And to be honest, I did not know I was overusing that word. So that was handy. My pace was pretty good. Overall, you can see I've gotten better. And this is an area I can now work with pitch to make sure that I get more of a pitch in my delivery so it's a little more exciting for my audience. So I hope that you'll consider using the Presentation Coach in PowerPoint. It's a wonderful feature that can really help you practice